Theodor Fliedner was a German Lutheran minister and founder of Lutheran deaconess training. In 1836, he founded Kaiserswerther Diakonie, a hospital and deaconess training center. He is commemorated as a renewer of society in the calendar of saints of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America on October 4th and by the Evangelical Church in Germany on October 5th. Background: Fliedner was born in Epstein in the Hesse, Germany. He was the son of a Lutheran minister. Pastor Fliedner studied theology at University of Gießen and the University of Göttingen as well as at Herborn Academy, the theological seminary in Herborn. He was for a time a house teacher. In 1821 he assumed the pastorate in the poor municipality of Kaiserswerth. When the town could no longer support church and ministry due to an economic crisis, he undertook journeys to collect donations. Beginning in Westphalia, he also went to the Netherlands and England. Career: in the Indies he became acquainted with the ancient church office of deaconess while spending time among the Mennonites, who had revived the institution in 1745. In England he met with English social reformer Elizabeth Fry, who demonstrated her work among her nation's impoverished and imprisoned people. He returned home not only with a large financial collection for his municipality but also with new ideas about social work among the disadvantaged. He began by working among inmates at the Düsseldorf prison, preaching the gospel and ministering to spiritual and physical needs. He walked to and from Düsseldorf every other Sunday until a regular prison chaplain was appointed. The German prisons were then in a very bad state, but those interested in their improvement banded together, and in 1826, Fliedner created the Rhenish Westphalian Prison Society. Fliedner realized that the first step must be toward looking after the prisoners on the release, and accordingly, in 1833, he opened at Kaiserswerth a refuge for discharged female convicts. To better support and teach Kaiserswerth's children, he founded a school in 1835 which became the venue for a women teachers' seminar. Deaconess training in many cities. There were no hospitals at the time. Following somewhat the model of the early Christian churches, diaconate, incorporating ideas learned from Fry and the Mennonites, and applying his own thoughts, Fliedner developed a plan whereby young women would find and care for the needy sick. For this, he needed to create Kaiserswerther Diakonie, an institute where women could learn both theology and nursing skills. He opened the Hospital and Deaconess Training Center in Kaiserswerth on the 13th of October 1836. Gertrude Reichhardt was the first deaconess commissioned by the new school. Florence Nightingale trained there as a nurse in 1850. One of the associated Kaiserswerth professional schools was later named in her honor. After his wife, Friederike, died in 1842, he found a new life companion in Caroline Berthaud. They opened institutes for the deaconate in 1844 in Dortmund and in 1847 in Berlin with the support of King Frederick William IV of Prussia and his wife Queen Elizabeth. Fliedner's attention became completely focused on this aspect of the ministry, and in 1849 he turned completely to working with the deaconate, including increasing activity abroad. Fliedner's movement has been cited as the model for the inner mission movement which Johann Heinrich Witschen developed. Legacy: because of these efforts, deaconess institutes arose in Paris, Oslo, Strasbourg, Utrecht, and elsewhere. By the time of his death in 1864, there were 30 mother houses and 1,600 deaconesses worldwide. By the middle of the 20th century, there were over 35,000 deaconesses serving in parishes, schools, hospitals, and prisons throughout the world. A sign of the international respect Fliedner garnered is that his most famous pupil came from outside Germany. English nursing reformer Florence Nightingale first visited in 1841. She was impressed by the religious devotion and noted most of the deaconesses were of peasant origin. She graduated from the facility in 1851. Today, one of Dusseldorf's hospitals bears her name. Selected works: Collect Henries nach Holland und England, Liederbuch für Kleinkinder Schulen, Kaiserswerther Volkskalender, Armen und Krankenfreund, Buch der Martyr und anderer Glaubensschüler der Evangelischen Kirche, Kursgeschichte der Entstehung der ersten Evangelischen Liebesanstalten in Kaiserswerth. Note: this article incorporates reference material from Theodor Fliedner Encyclopedia Britannica.